When we talk about dynasties of the NFL, we'll hear about the Packers, the Steelers, the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Patriots, and now the Chiefs. But there's one team that does not get enough love for how dominant they were. It was the pre-Super Bowl era, and it often seems like that part of the NFL just doesn't exist or doesn't get enough recognition. The Cleveland Browns were established in 1944 in the All-America Football Conference, or AAFC, which was a competitor league to the NFL. They were led by legendary coach Paul Brown, who was hired when the team was first established, and he coached the Ohio State Buckeyes and brought them their first national championship. And despite Paul Brown's protests, the team was named the Browns after him. One of their first signings would be future Hall of Famer Otto Graham, and these two would prove to be a lethal combination. They'd win all four of their AAFC championships from 1946 to 1949 and finish with a record of 52, 4 and 3. That included an undefeated season in 1948 where they went 15-0. The league would ultimately fold in 1949 though, and you can probably blame the Browns for that. They dominated the league to such an extent that fans, even Browns fans, stopped going to games. The AAFC even tried to create some balance by sending Browns players to other teams, but it didn't work, so the Browns and two other teams, the Baltimore Colts and San Francisco 49ers, would join the NFL, where they'd be dismissed as inferior. Redskins owner George Marshall would say, "The worst team in our league could beat the best team in theirs," when asked about the AAFC. The Browns would say otherwise, because it did not matter what league they were in, they were the best for some time. In their first game in the NFL, the Browns amassed 487 total yards against the Eagles and smashed the defending champs 35-10. They'd finished the 1950 season with a 10-2 record and would go on to beat the LA Rams 30-28 thanks to a last-minute field goal. The Rams would get revenge in the following year though, winning 24-17 in the championship game. The Browns would have a strong season in 1952 and 1953, but they lost to the Lions both times in the championship game. By 1955, cracks began to show. Otto Graham planned to retire after the season, Marion Motley, who was the star fullback, had a knee injury, and defensive stud Bill Willis had just retired. It didn't matter though. The Browns went 9-3 and would meet the Lions for a third straight year, and this time they won with ease, 56-10. The game included 6 interceptions by Lions quarterback Bobby Lane and 3 passing touchdowns by Graham, as well as another 3 rushing touchdowns. They managed to convince Graham not to retire the following year, offering him $25,000, which was then the highest salary in the NFL. And the Browns would finish the season 9-2-1 and went on to win its third NFL championship, beating the LA Rams 38-14. This time, it would be Graham's last game, and it essentially marked the end of the dynasty. Otto Graham retired with a winning percentage of 81.4%, a record that is still held today. In 10 seasons, he never missed a game and led the Browns to a championship game every year. The season after his retirement, the Browns went 5-7. But it's not just the championships that made them great. They were outright dominant. Their offense was in the top 3 8 of the 10 years, and their defense was ranked first in points allowed 8 times in 10 years. And also, it's not to say that they weren't good post 1955. They did win another championship in 1964, and they had Jim Brown. But as for the dynasty, this appears to be the right timeline, 1946 to 1955. And during that time, they were led by Coach Brown and 9 future Hall of Famers. They amassed a record of 105, 17, and 4, and won 7 championships. And if not for the 1956 season, where they went 5-7, the Browns would have gone 27 years without a losing season. The current record is 20 years by the Cowboys. Alright, thanks for watching.